On the program today, we'll turn our attention to the news updates. We'll begin in the nation's capital, where the Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja has affirmed the proscription of the indigenous people of Biafra as a terrorist organization. The appellate court, in a unanimous decision, affirmed the judgment of the Federal High Court in Abuja, which prescribed IPOB. The court held that it found no reason to set aside the order the federal government got against the group. According to the court, the federal government acted lawfully by prescribing the organization whose activities threatened the nation's security and continued existence. It resolved all the issues against IPOB and dismissed its appeal for want of merit.
Freedom is not a gift from government. Freedom is a gift from God. Freedom is not a gift from government. Freedom is a gift from God.
What do you say, Trump?
Freedom is not a gift from government. Freedom is a gift from God.
Again?
Freedom is not a gift from government.
Listen.
Freedom is a gift from God.
Listen.
Freedom is not a gift from government. Freedom is a gift from God.
Again?
Freedom is not a gift from government. Freedom is a gift from God.
Oh. My people, my Biafran people, now how on a day today? I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on where you're listening to the sound of my voice. This is the Biafra Superstars Media, and I'm holding it down. I say may God bless Biafra, and may God bless His Excellency Oyendo NNAMDI KANU. May God bless, may God bless, may God bless, may God bless His Excellency, the Prime Minister of the United States of Biafra, His Excellency, ESN, EKPA, Simon Njoku, for the job Simon is doing. Someone I want to say we thank you, we appreciate you, we love you, because we know in your hands Biafra has come, in your hands Biafra will be safe, and in your hands, now that Biafra has come, the people of Biafra will rejoice. When I say the people, I mean the men, the women, the children, the old, the young, the sick, the poor, the civilized and the uncivilized. Those born in Biafra and those born in the bite of Biafra. We shall all come together under one voice, under one accord, under one union, and scream for Hallelujah Day. We the people, the IPOB, the indigenous people of Biafra, the 80 million Biafrans, we shall all come together under one voice, under one accord, under one union, and scream for Hallelujah Day. Above all, I say may God bless Her Excellency, the Deputy Prime Minister of the United States of Biafra, Her Excellency, Dr. NGOZI ORABUEZE. Madam, we appreciate you. Madam, we thank you for the job you're doing, and we hope that the good gods of Biafra will continue to guide and protect you. Fellow Biafrans, today, I want to make a clarion call to all Biafrans all across the world and to the government of Biafra. Today I am saying all Biafrans, the 80 million Biafrans around the world, today we have heard the news that the Islamic country of Nigeria, the northern government of Nigeria, they have proscribed we the people, the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, the 80 million Biafrans, we have been tagged as terrorists. Yes, I said it. Wherever you may be today, be it in America, Australia, Canada, Germany, France, Britain, Japan, wherever you find yourself across the world, know today that the Islamic country of Nigeria has tagged you a terrorist. They have made the Christians of Biafra terrorists. They have called the 80 million Biafrans terrorists. It means they have a license to kill. Fellow Biafrans, today we have to call on the President of America, Donald J. Trump. We wish to implore you to please hurry to our aid, because the time has come. The enemies, while in the night, they were plotting, they were cajoling our so-called governors from the eastern region to proscribe IPOB IPOB is the acronym for the indigenous people of Biafra. IPOB represents the 80 million Biafrans in the local and in diaspora. Today, we've got the news that the federal government of Nigeria, the Islamic country of Nigeria, the Islamic government of Nigeria, they have succeeded in going and upholding in the appeal courts that we, the Biafrans, we, the 80 million Christians, are now terrorists. This can only happen in a contraption. This can only happen in a criminal enterprise. This can only happen in a place where slavery and subjugation, tribalism rules. This can only happen in a country where there is no rule of law. This can only happen in a country where they don't respect each other. Fellow Biafrans, we must call out on all stakeholders. Wherever you are, let the government know. We must protest. We must revolt. We must let the whole world know what Nigeria has done in the private. The Islamic country of Nigeria. They have tagged the Christians. They have tagged we, the Jewish and the rest traditional worshippers. They have tagged us terrorists by pronouncing and upholding that IPOB is a terrorist organization. It means we, the Biafrans, the 80 million Biafrans, largely Christians, have been tagged by Nigeria, an Islamic country, as a terrorist organization. Fellow Biafrans, we must let Donald J. Trump know what is going on. He is a friend of Biafra, and we must call out on all the stakeholders around the whole world, the different countries. Let them know what Nigeria is about to do. They now have the green light to search for us, to come and hunt us and kill us with impunity in the name that they are fighting and killing, taking the lives of terrorists. Fellow Biafrans, in this analysis, we've heard from Trump where he said, freedom is not given by government, freedom is given by God. We now understand the mandate that we have the right to fight for our freedom. We have the right to claim and proclaim and speak out for our liberation. No other person in that zoo called Nigeria could put us through what they intend to put us through. This is a green light for them to come and pillage the land one more time. What they did during the Biafran war, they are about to do it again. Fellow Biafrans, the time is now. We must come out to fight, to protest all across the world. Wherever you find yourself, organize yourself and go to the government and tell them, not in your name will you be tagged a terrorist. Nigeria, oh Nigeria, you have done the worst. If people calling for their freedom, you have somehow gone through your own law, your Islamic law, your northern law, to tag the Christians terrorists in that so-called Nigeria. At this time, I want us to please call upon the government of Biafra. Her Excellency, the Deputy Prime Minister, this one falls on your desk. This is a clarion call for you to do what is right for the people of Biafra. This must be shone as a light. This information must be spread around the whole world. Let the stakeholders, let the government know what is happening in Nigeria. That the government of Nigeria now have the green light through their law, through their system, to come and take the lives of the Biafrans. And when they do it, they will say, oh, they were only looking for the terrorists. They were only taking the lives of the terrorists. Only Nigeria declared or tagged we, the IPOB, as terrorists. The whole world, they see us as freedom fighters. They see us as people asking for our liberation. But in Nigeria, when a Biafran man, when a Christian asks to be liberated from the Islamic jihad happening in Nigeria, you are tagged a terrorist. At this point, I want us to listen to what the media are saying in that zoo called Nigeria. We shall hear from one perspective of those breaking the news, and the other perspective, you will see those who are working on behind the scene. Oh Lord, have mercy. Behind the scene. As the saying goes, when a witch cries at night, a baby dies in the morning, then you understand that the actions or the inactions of the witch is responsible for what happened to the baby. You will hear the analyst from that zoo called Nigeria tagged or called the Biafrans, the IPOB terrorists, before the court case happened in that so-called Nigeria. But for meantime, I want us to please listen to the analysis of what they are saying in the Nigerian media. They have tagged us terrorists, but that would not deter us to stop for the freedom, fighting for our freedom to liberate the people of Biafra. If you're ready, let's go and listen to what the Zoom media are saying in the media. If you're ready, let's go there. Listen to this.
Here in Lagos, Nigeria, this is TVC News at 7. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. We are monitoring developments in the court as a court of appeal affirmed the prescription of the indigenous people of Biafra as a terrorist organization. It was a unanimous decision by the appellate court to affirm an earlier judgment of the Federal High Court in Abuja, which prescribed IPOB. The court held that it found no reason to set aside the order the federal government got against the group. The court also insisted that the federal government acted lawfully by prescribing the organization as its activities threatens the nation's security and continued existence. Recall that in 2017, the former Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Justice Abdul Kafarati, prescribed the activities of IPOB in Nigeria following an ex parte motion by the former Attorney General of the Federation on behalf of the federal government. From the nation's capital, Abuja, and a senior reporter, Celestina Area, joins me now from our Abuja studio for more. Celestina, let's begin with the prescription of IPOB. What is the implication of the decision of the Court of Appeal on IPOB's prescription?
Okay, with the judgments today delivered by the Court of Appeal, IPOB remain prescribed as a terrorist organization. We recall that in 2017, by way of an ex parte application, the then former Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, approached the Federal High Court here in Abuja, seeking for the order to prescribe IPOB, which the former Chief Judge, Justice Abdul Kafarati, granted, and IPOB was prescribed. But the little confusion that happened was because in 2023, which was 2 years ago, another court at the High Court in Enugu State also gave an order setting aside that order delivered by the Federal High Court, saying that self-determination is not a crime or an offense, and that the members of IPOB were not given rights for fair hearing. So it declared that the prescription of IPOB was illegal. So it was like a contradiction because we're both courts of coordinate jurisdiction.
Hold it there. It wasn't a contradiction. What happens is when a court sitting in Biafra lands that understand the culture of the people, that understands our way of life, when they make a law, they said IPOB is not a terrorist organization. This is the problem, the dynamics of that thing called Nigeria. Britain, you are responsible for this nonsense. Britain brought three different nations and made them one. Now suddenly the court from Biafra land is saying we are not a terrorist organization. That IPOB is not a terrorist organization. But suddenly the court from the north, the federal court from the north, says otherwise. They said IPOB is a terrorist organization. The court in Biafra land says IPOB is not a terrorist organization. Think about that. Let that sink in. It tells you we are not the same people. We don't have the same ideology. Our way of life is different. Our culture is different. The way we perceive the world is different. The way we interact with the world is different. The way we see life is different. Even the food we eat is different. Our dressing is different. Our language is different. The way we even pray to our God is different. Our spirituality and lifestyle is different. But Britain somehow sees it as dim fit to make us one. Britain, oh Britain, you are responsible for this madness happening in that place, that shithole, that contraption you named the so-called Nigeria. Britain, you are responsible. Britain, oh Britain, you are responsible. When a court sat in Biafra land, they said we are not proscribed. That a people seeking, speaking out, fighting, advocating for their liberation, for their independence, are not terrorists. Even in Britain right now, Scotland, the Scottish party, they are fighting for their own liberation. Nobody tagged them terrorists. When Britain was seeking for their exit, Brexit, they called it. Europe did not tag Britain as terrorist. But only in Nigeria, a creation by Britain, a fantasy creation that a white man came to Africa and made a country. The audacity of Lugard and his prostitute concubine, Flora Shaw, naming us the nigger area, the area of the niggers. That was the name she felt was okay to name a people. They made us one, the amalgamation of 1914. This is the problem we have in that zoo called Nigeria. We are not one people. We hate ourselves with a passion. There is tribalism happening in that zoo. No, each tribe love themselves. They are pretenders. What keeps them one is the oil coming from the land of Biafra. And suddenly a court from the eastern region is saying that what we are doing is right under the law. We are not terrorists. But somehow in the north is where you have mainly the Muslims. 98% of them in the north, they are Muslims. According to their own court, the Federal High Court in Abuja, according to them, the activities of the Biafrans was tagged a terrorist activity. And when both high courts of equal pairs had varying judgment, the Nigerian government now went to the appeal court in Abuja, a Muslim enclave again. And guess what? They upheld the decision made by the Islamic court from the north that tagged us terrorists. To the President of America, Donald J. Trump, this is the conundrum we find ourselves. We as a people, we have been living before even Britain was made. We had our own territory, our own kingdom, our own nation before Britain was known as the so-called United Kingdom. But somehow, Britain feels that they have the power to come to Africa. Africa was there before Europe. They came to Africa and they named a people, 3 different warring people, 3 different warring nations that were never friends before the coming of Britain. 3 different independent nations. Britain came to Africa and made us one. And ever since, my people have been dying. There is tribalism, nepotism, retapism on the high. When you look at all the other tribes, they pretend they don't see what is happening to us because they collude against us. Those that claim they are the most educated, the Yoruba tribe, they see what is happening, they understand what is happening, they know what is happening, but somehow, because of politics, the oligarchs from the Yoruba land, they choose to align with the Islamists from the north. And when they come together, they now put the pressure, they weigh us, they use the law, they use the might of the government against the people of Biafra. So suddenly, a court, a federal high court in Biafra land is saying what we are doing doesn't have any element of terrorism. But on the same vein, the other hand, a court from the north said because we are trying to break away from Nigeria, that makes us a terrorist organization. To the President of America, this one falls on your desk. You are the leader of the world. We thank you for the changes, the great changes you're doing in America. We want you to please look into this case. Because what Nigeria has succeeded in doing last night was to declare 80 million Biafrans living all across the whole world as terrorists. Because of the selfish interest to keep Nigeria one. Because of the love of the oil, the gas, the resources coming from the land of Biafra. They have now tagged 80 million Biafrans as terrorists. The question is, what do you do to a terrorist? When you find one, what do you do to them? It means you have the license to kill. This is the danger that Nigeria has put we, the people of Biafra. Hence, I'm saying the government of Biafra, headed by the Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. ORABUEZE, the onus fall upon you to shine this information to the whole world. Let them know that we, the Biafrans, we are still known as IPOB. This is an acronym for who we are because we are indigenous to the land of Biafra. IPOB simply means the indigenous people of Biafra. Those born in the land of Biafra are IPOB. And as we speak, we are over 80 million and counting. And Nigerian Islamic country, a Sharia country, a Sharia court, have tagged us as terrorists. It's so baffling that in one court, they said what we are doing is right. It's under our fundamental human right to seek for our freedom. But in a different court from a different tribe, they are saying no. Call them the terrorists. Tag them. Give them the bad name. Blacklist them. Give a dog a bad name just to hang it. That's what is happening in Nigeria. This is why we said we are done with Nigeria. We have nothing in common with Nigeria. Let's take it back. Listen to what they said. Listen to the analysis of the lady who was just speaking. Listen.
And a senior reporter, Celestina Ria, joins me now from our Abuja studio for more. Celestina, let's begin with the prescription of IPOB. What is the implication of the decision of the Court of Appeal on IPOB's prescription?
Okay, well, the judgments today delivered by the Court of Appeal, IPOB remain prescribed as a terrorist organization. We recall that in 2017, by way of an ex parte application, the then former Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, approached the Federal High Court here in Abuja, seeking for the order to prescribe IPOB, which the former Chief Judge, Justice Aduka Farati, granted, and IPOB was prescribed. But the little confusion that happened was because in 2023, which was 2 years ago, another court at the High Court in Enugu State also gave an order setting aside that order delivered by the Federal High Court, saying that self-determination is not a crime or an offense, and that the members of IPOB were not given rights of fair hearing. So it declared that the prescription of IPOB was illegal. So it was like a contradiction because we're both courts of coordinate jurisdiction. So that was why counsel to NNAMDI KANU and those that represent IPOB always say that IPOB is not prescribed, noting that there are two conflicting decisions in that regard. But today, the Court of Appeal has set it clear that is by affirming the decision of the Federal High Court that was delivered in 2017 that prescribed IPOB. We also recall that the Attorney General of the Federation, as the Chief Law Officer of the country, has the right to bring an application before the court seeking to prescribe IPOB. The AGF also did that last week when he brought an application before the Federal High Court to prescribe LACWAR. Is it LACWAR you call it? Yes, an organization in the northern part of the country because of the activities. And we also recall in 2019, IMN was also prescribed. So today the judgment stands and IPOB remain prescribed.
So is there the possibility of the council approaching the Apex Court for reconsideration?
Very well. They have a right of appeal up to the Supreme Court, but so far so good. We haven't heard from counsel to NNAMDI KANU or Mr. Alo Ejimako, who always argue his case in court if they are going to approach the Supreme Court. But we believe that they would want to challenge the decision of the Court of Appeal. But as it stands now, IPOB remain a prescribed organization.
All right. Now, moving on to the trial of Omoyele Sowore.
Hold it there, my people. You've just heard that. According to them, IPOB is now a terrorist organization. the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, indigenous people of Biafra. Those born in Biafra are known as IPOB, and those born in the Bight of Biafra can still be seen as members of the IPOB family. But today, the Islamic country of Nigeria, a country that is on the verge of being Islamized, has tagged the Biafrans. They have tagged a nation largely Christians. 80 million Christians have been tagged as terrorists. Let the whole world hear this. To the President of America, Donald Trump, this is what is happening in Nigeria. To the Finnish President, Alexander Stubb, I hope now you see the gimmicks that Nigeria is doing. I hope now you understand why Simon Ekpa was fighting for the liberation of his people. Because we saw this coming. Tagging a nation as terrorists means the Nigerian government now have the license to kill. It means nobody is spared. It means everyone is guilty. A whole nation, 80 million people, tagged as terrorists. Alexander Stubb, let this one sink into your mind as you deal with the case of Simon Ekpa. We have told you all this while that Simon Ekpa has no case to answer. All he was doing is to fight for the liberation of his people. We have told you that the enemy is Nigeria, the aggressors are Nigeria. Those coming to the land to Islamize us are Nigerians. Those that come with their cows, AK-47, to kill, pillage, take over the land are the people from the north, known as the Fulani headsmen. They have come to the land of Biafra to take over our resources. Those that went to Kenya to kidnap our leader, NNAMDI KANU, is the government of Nigeria. But somehow, Finland, you succumbed by keeping Simon Ekpa somewhere with all the false accusations brought on the head of Simon Ekpa. What will you now call this one, Finland? What will you say about this? That a people, a nation, 80 million Christians have been tagged as terrorists by an Islamic country, an Islamic government that runs a Muslim government. It means the president is Muslim and the vice president is Muslim. A country that once vouched and said is a secular country. Today, they have been run as an Islamic country, funded by Saudi Arabia, the Saudi bank and the rest of them. And today they've done the worst that they could do to my people. They have tagged us as terrorists. To Finland, to America, to NATO, to EU, ICC. What will you say about this? What will you do about this? That's the question. Because all these years we've been crying out, telling you the plans of Nigeria. In the grand scheme of things, their plans, their intention was to give a name, a dog a bad name, a people a bad name, just to have the leeway to come into the land and pillage us. Now when you say you are IPOB, you are a dead man. You are condemned to die. This is how it's been in Nigeria all these years. This is what they've been doing to our people. And when we speak out, they lie. They tell you we are the aggressors. Today, I want to call out on all the governors from the Southeast. Those that were involved in the proscription of IPOB. You have sold your people. You have sold your people. And the price was cheap. The sins you all committed is worse than the sins of Afonja. Even though they are similar. All because of power, you sold your people. Now the 80 million Biafrans are condemned to die as terrorists. To the politicians from the Southeast, This one falls on you. This shame falls on you. May it never be well for you and your people, because it was from you that IPOB was proscribed. To the so-called governors, you are a disgrace to the people. You should bury your head in shame. And once Biafra is implemented, I hope and pray that this case will be brought back up. We must look into it. Your decision to proscribe, to go along with the caliphate, to proscribe your own people is unheard of. Finally, as I leave this one, I want to call on the President of America. America, the land of the free, the hope, the home of the hopeless, the land of the brave. We are calling upon you. We pray. We pray to the government of America. Donald J. Trump, please come to our aid. Hurry to our aid. Nigeria, with this law, now have a license to come to the land of Biafra and take the life of the people. They will do it with impunity, and they will do it with the backing of the law. Donald J. Trump, we need you to speak on this. We need your voice on this, because Biafrans are scattered all across the whole world. We are in America, we are everywhere. We are calling upon you to come and help us. Hurry to our aid, because the time has come. The time to Islamize Nigeria is now. The government of Nigeria, they are doing their groundwork, and they are coming to Islamize Nigeria. And by so doing, they've seen us, we the Christians, we the Biafrans, they have seen IPOB, we the people. They've seen us as a stumbling block towards their conquest, towards their plan to Islamize Nigeria. Donald J. Trump, we need your friendship. We need your support. We need the backing of America. We are confident that this message will get to you. Thank you. Thank you, America. And may God bless the people of Biafra. At a time like this, I want you all to stay strong. The enemy has come. We are now in the 11th hour. But we shall keep on fighting the good fight. Remain resolute, because what we are doing is a just cause. Asking for freedom, for your liberation, is not a crime. We shall keep on fighting the good fight. All we beg is for the world, the international organizations, the EU, ICC, and the rest of them to understand what we are doing and hurry to our aid before the Nigerian government and their might, the Islamic jihadists in Nigeria, comes to exterminate us. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Must be restored, for there is nothing the enemies can do about it. You brought Biafra that light may come into Africa. You gave us hope, because we are in a continent of hopelessness. And by thy grace, Biafra shall be restored. We shall be resurrected. We shall crown our efforts with the glory by the grace of the Most High Himself. We are not strong. We do not pretend to be strong. All we do is to submit ourselves to your will, that your will may be done upon our lives. We have lost many people. We have lost so many good people. Their sacrifice will never be forgotten. We shall honor them, and for their sake, Biafra will come. Because we are wandering all over the world, hoping against every hope that things will turn around for the better. It has never turned around for the better. Instead, it is getting worse. Please do not abandon your children. You have given us a commission, and we must accomplish it in our lifetime. Our enemies are equally important because they must listen. Those who do not love the truth must listen. Those who are beholden to darkness, they must also listen. For we are here to bring light upon a very darkened continent without Biafra. Africa is nothing without Biafra. There is no difference between a black man and a wild animal in the forest. We say every shred with every ounce of conviction. I welcome each and every one of you. If you're joining us for the very first time, this is Radio Biafra. This is how we do it. We magnify the name of the Most High before we do anything. That is why we are exceptionally formidable. That is why